tell us more about the nurse's examination of conscience that she wrote, her practical application of spirituality in nursing. It's so exciting to hear.
Yes. Somewhere along the lines, for her parish nurses, so this is already the last 20 years of her life, she started promoting something called the nurses' examination of conscience. Now, we know that she ran retreats for the nurses, that she ran prayer days for them. She would actually instruct the priests what to say, because they ain't got a clue what to say to nurses. Well, sorry, a bit. And what was coming through is that she was trying to ennoble and to spiritualize the work of the nurse. If it's good to do, it should sanctify. I don't know to what extent she was aware of all the writings of Cardinal Wyszynski, because he has a beautiful book about work and labour, and we do know that John Paul II, I think, wrote an encyclical about work and the sanctification of work. But it was this sort of idea that what you're doing should be done well, and how are you going to bring God into this work? And in a way, that's how I see the nurse's examination of conscience. She wanted to sort of ask the nurses, consider, for example, what you do on a Sunday, or, you know, are you really honest? Do you write your records the right way? But rather than treat it just as a professional issue, she also brought the spiritual element to it, saying, well, look, if you're not, actually, that's a lie. Or if you're not, you know, how can you call yourself a Christian? So to that extent, you know, she was trying to bring up the nurses to some kind of level. I did forget to just say that for all the communists hating of her, they called her back to sit on an ethics advisory committee for the region as an expert on ethics, and apparently she was very upset by some of the things she heard, because she was such a conscientious nurse. So you can imagine if she came across some pretty nasty cases, not upset in a sort of, you know, I've never heard of a bad nurse way, but in the sense that what has happened to our profession? But she also could see through people. She was very supportive of her nurses, that they should work as well as possible. I mean, you're asking about her nursing spirituality, and I try to write about it, but to me, her nursing spirituality is like when she said, God would be happy if we gave him just one glass of water, you know, let alone doing anything else, but, you know, even one glass of water would have satiated his sleep. At one point she says, I was going down the road and I suddenly realized that I am helping Christ carry his cross. You know, without an analogy, she's just saying, actually carry his cross. And there is another element to her spirituality, or two other elements. One is Marian, inasmuch as her image, her example, her role model, was Our Lady of the Visitation. And she loved that gospel story of Mary going in haste to help somebody else, to help her cousin. And she said, we need to go in haste, not waste time. You know, if you're going to do something good, do it now. Don't waste time. Go in haste. And she would often say to her friends, you know, we need to do our work in haste. You know, that phrase from the gospel. And the other kind of bit of her spirituality, I think, was, well, Benedictine. That balance of work and play. And she was really insistent, even if she pushed herself to the extremes, which is classic of these people.
Ora et labora.
Ora et labora.
Yeah.
You know, pray if, you know, we used to say, pray as if it all depends on God, and work as if it all depends on you.